Hey guys, Kelade here. Welcome to my Mythic Eonar the Life-Binder kill/commentary video. For this fight, we're gonna go with our AoE setup, War Machine, Double Time, Wrecking Ball, Bounding Stride, Frothing Berserker, Bloodbath, and Reckless Abandon using the Legendary Belt and the Legendary Pants. I am using my Moonglaze on this fight because, you want the burst AoE on these ads, right? So right here, for example, the mid-destructor is gonna spawn, right when all these ads spawn, Moonglaze, Whirlwind, you pop your Battlecry Rampage, and you Odin Sphere all the ads, and then you keep Whirlwinding on the ads until they're all dead. And then you can put some more damage onto the Destructor. Earlier, before, we used to just like stay on the Destructor until it died, but since our DPS now is so high, we can actually afford for pretty much most of the people to actually just be AoEing these hounds. You'll actually see like a lot of melee are still on this, and then after these hounds die, like even when we turn around, the Destructor is already dead, right? So for me, for my group, I think most guilds or groups, they split your raid into two, right? So there's like a top group and then there's a bottom group, right? So where we're the top group, we're gonna come up here to the top portal where these destructors spawn. I'm not using my battle cry and noticing right away. It depends on what damage you guys need. If you guys really need a single target damage, you can. But you guys will see, we're gonna kill the destructor so fast that this guy actually pretty much dies as the Fellhound spawn, right? So we're gonna kill this guy. I'm gonna use my battle cry, rampage, and I'm gonna Odin Sphere as many of these Fellhounds as I can, right? So I kind of wait for like 4 spawns. You could wait for like all 5 or 6 or whatever to spawn, but you obviously want to hit them before everybody else goes up because these things are gonna die pretty fast if your raid is pretty geared. And just for, I guess, like a good indicator of like, oh, if your raid is lacking DPS and you want to like get the most out of DPS, the Fellhounds pretty much get one shot by the Eonar's thing where she just the casting life force where she just like one shots all the hounds pretty much, and the Fell Guards, as long as they're like 50% HP, she'll kill them. All right, so after that, we're gonna come to the middle. If you guys don't have an add-on that shows you the timers for all of the bonds, I highly recommend you guys do it. So right now I am using bigwigs, and on the right side you guys can see that the bot purifier, top small ads, mid purifier at the top of your screen. It just shows you like when all the ads are going to spawn, and that's really really helpful, right? So when these towns spawn again, once again I drop my Moonglaze, battle cry, rampage, and then Odin Sphere the ads whenever I can. As far as for the mythic mechanics of this fight, you'll see it very soon. I am in the second portal group. So on the timer on the right, you guys will see Final Doom 2. It's kind of like, what, 5th on the list right now. In 30 seconds, I'm going to have to go and do the portal. I'm going to talk about that when we get there. All right, so once we kill these ads, you're going to chill out here in the middle for a little bit. Not much goes on. Like, I can go and kill this middle pack just like for fun. This isn't really the pack that I'm supposed to do, but there becomes a point in this fight where once you outgear it, similarly to like normal, heroic, I'm sure LFR too, like there's points where you're just standing there and doing nothing. This is kind of one of them. And it happens more like in the earlier fight. So Final Doom's about to cast out. I pretty much jump 5 or 6 seconds out. It takes around 5 or 6 seconds from where I was to get here, right? So there's 4 portals. I should have been on the left a little bit more, but there's 4 portals. 4 people go in, and you pretty much want to kill this guy as fast as possible. And for generally most groups, I think you only need 1 interrupt, but the way that we do it, we have 2 interrupts at least for every group, just in case. Like we have 3 in this group, but not a big deal. So every time he casts a rack thing, I just interrupt it as fast as I can. And then of course, as the guy's dying, I'm always scanning and looking around to where these kind of beacons that or crystals that you have to click on to gain the buff, right? And as melee, I'm pretty sure most melee in your groups will get the blue buff because that's the interrupt a cast one. You don't want a caster to have that because then they're going to interrupt themselves, which isn't great. And of course, your casters are standing next to other casters, so you just want your melee to have this. And as a melee, when you have this buff, you guys will see it. It's like a little, it's like a pretty much a bigger version of Arcane Torrent from Blood Elves, right? So this Arcane buildup, right, when the spell finishes, right, 3, 2, 1, it's going to do an AoE silent circle or an AoE interrupt around everybody. So, as I was flying here, I was trying to get away from Resto Drizzt just so I couldn't interrupt him. And you do want to make sure that, when that Arcane buildup is coming up, that you get away from your ranged and casters, right? You can see even the boss timers I have right now even shows me that it's going to be up in 3 seconds. So I'm just running over here, trying to get in front of the range, trying to get more in melee range of everything, so that way I'm not interrupting anybody that needs to be casting. And then we're just gonna wait here for the mid, Obfuscator to spawn. Now I chose not to pop my cooldowns because I didn't know if there's actually gonna be more ads spawning here, and it's not horrible that I didn't because you guys will see why in a second. But ideally, what I should have done is I should have just popped my cooldowns here. Unless you're waiting for a large group of ads, you generally do want to pop your cooldowns, as fast as you can. And you do want to kill this thing as fast as you can, because then you can go to other parts of the fight. Like once you're like halfway through their fight, there's and on the mythic difficulty generally there should always be something for you to kill. Unless you guys just have like crazy AoE burst DPS. And I don't think we're there yet, so just do know like once you're halfway through the fight, definitely, if you have battle cry, just use it, even if it's on single target, especially if it's a priority target. So I should definitely pop battle cry here. But it's okay, because we do get to the top. There's gonna be another guy spawn, or we're gonna drop it here. And you guys are gonna see the placement for this. So for the ups, whenever like this ad comes out, I don't even know how to say their name. Whenever this ad comes out, they put like an invisibility cloak over their ads that are next to them, right? So what I do is I just kind of like drop my Moonglaze kind of right there, so that way the Felguards behind me can't walk into it. And then I'll let them Odin's Fury, hit them with Odin's Fury and let it tick on them as they're running around. And then once you kill this Obfuscator, you can actually either DPS the bats, or there's actually going to be another big guy that comes up here. You can do both. It really just depends on what DPS your raid needs. Just know that, as a Fury Warrior, you can really do both. Like, you can do the single target DPS, you can do the AoE DPS. I'm trying to target, like, the big Felguards whenever I can, because I do know that the Felhounds guys are going to die pretty fast. So I try to put more of my effort onto the Felguards. And as we're getting here, I think these are the Felguards. And then one thing is that, like, as a viewer, like, you're gonna see that a lot of people, they just like they DPS some ads and then they'll just leave. So like I'm sitting here with 3 ads by myself. I'm checking to see like how much dot they have on them, and it doesn't seem like they're taking too fast without me hitting them. So I actually want to kill this guy if I can, because I don't think there's actually another dot on him. And like one thing that a lot of groups and stuff that we've done in the past is that there's always like 1 or 2 Felguards that people assume are gonna die, and they just leave and they just go over there and they just smack Eonar for like 10,000 times until somebody realizes they're there. So I try to finish them off if I can. If I know that I don't see a dot on them, I'll finish them off. All right, so we jump down, we AoE the bats a little bit. If you ever can, like, try to always AoE bats. Okay, and then don't do what I did here. I thought I died here, but I guess you don't die anymore if you fall down. I'm pretty sure when we were doing this fight in the previous 2 weeks, I've actually died jumping down. So I don't know if Blizzard changed that, or if something, because I was trying to hero leap after I realized my mistake there, but luckily we didn't die. So we're still chucking along. And then, right here, I'm having indecisions about when to pop my cooldowns. But like I mentioned, like, just don't hesitate. If you have Battle Cry up, you're hitting a prior target, just use it. Because I actually waste more DPS by holding onto my Battle Cry like this. As always, Arcane Builder comes up. I just want to stay in melee range as much as I can. Like, I don't want to get out of it. It's really for your range to not be in melee range of the boss, right? Like, your range should know that, this mechanic is coming out, that they shouldn't be in melee range, because that's where all your melee are. And pretty much, there's going to be 4 melee that have the interrupt buff. Or sorry, the interrupt debuff, right? So it's really up to your range at that point to just know that, hey, if they're standing on top of an ad where melee is going to be, we have to be in melee, they're going to get interrupted. So I try to stay in melee range of mobs as I can. Like, you guys see, there's some casters in there, but that's kind of on them, right? If they're going to be in melee range of the mob and they get interrupted, it's not like that easy for us to find an open space all the time. And then, of course, whenever I can, like, this is also the end of the fight, but whenever I can, like, if the bats are on this platform, they're generally AoE-able by melee. Initially, when they first make this turn around this corner, you do have to jump a little bit. You'll see that I struggle with hitting my Bloodthirst on some of them. So just do know that, sometimes you're going to have to jump a little bit to hit the bats before they come down. And that's it. That's it for the fight. Essentially, just really take advantage of the fact that you can track all the ad spawns using, various add-ons. I am using Bigwigs, so I highly recommend that if you don't have one. And then that really helps you just to know what's coming up next. So yeah, that's it for this video. And of course, the pots that I did use for this fight are Prolong pot, Prolong pre-pot, and then Prolong afterwards to AoE the bats. As always, thanks for checking out the video, guys. Feel free to subscribe to see more. See ya.